Hi, welcome back. And continuing with the Halloween mood, today we're going to talk about House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price. Oh, sorry, did I say Vincent Price? I meant Stephen Price. We're not going to talk about the 1959 classic. We're going to talk about the 1999 bizarre remake. And remember, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Let's get going. House on Haunted Hill is directed by William Malone and stars a sort of weird ensemble cast. You have the kind of people I would expect in a film like this, such as Famke Janssen, Larter, Peter Gallagher, and Taye. They also decide to throw in Chris Kattan in there as kind of a comedic relief. He plays the house's owner.
Yeah, I'm alright.
I was convinced that Larter's character was played by Bridgette Wilson, but looking at it... Oh wait, she's also in the movie. But the most mind-baffling casting is Geoffrey Rush, who plays Stephen Price, amusement park mogul. So at the very least, at least they paid homage to the original film with his name. This is the weirdest casting choice for me, though, because Geoffrey Rush is coming straight off of Shakespeare in Love, which he did amazing in. And now he's doing this. Thank God that this didn't put an end to his career, or we would have never gotten Captain Barbossa. Jeffrey Combs also makes a cameo appearance as Dr. Vonnegut, the original owner of the asylum. And oh wait, who are those people? That can't be 90s sensation Lisa Loeb and Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, can it? We're off to a rough start here, but stick with me because the setup of the movie is really cool. The movie starts off in an old-timey asylum. A bunch of sketchy doctors and medical staff are doing their nightly routines, and then suddenly out of nowhere, the patients revolt, performing experiments on the doctors and torturing them. It's very graphic. And it's super crazy to start the movie off this way. Like, it really becomes a massacre. And they set this up really well. There's the scene early on during the quiet part where somebody is sharpening a pencil extra sharp, and let's just say that pencil comes back. And really, this is the reason to watch this movie, if anything. There are a few other scenes later on that are just like this. And the production value and just the setup and scenery is really top-notch. So now, in the present day, or 1999 at least, Evelyn Price sees a report on the asylum and wants to have her birthday there. Her and her husband Stephen have a rocky relationship that is kind of deteriorating, but he decides regardless to give in and sets up an elaborate game for her birthday party. Actually, Stephen Price's whole introduction scene is really cool. He has this brand new roller coaster that's nothing like anything I've ever seen. There's so many tricks and traps and just like little gimmicks and effects that even just getting up to the ride is a little experience on its own. Being an amusement park owner, Steven sets up a sort of party with a game aspect to it and invites Evelyn's friends. But something wonky goes on with the computer, and instead 4 strangers arrive. A film producer, a baseball player, a former TV personality, and a doctor. There's also the owner of the house, Watson Pritchett, who's played by Chris Kattan. None of these people were on the guest list, and none of them know each other, but Evelyn and Stephen both think that they're playing a trick on each other, and just kind of run with it. So Price explains the game. Whoever survives the house until the morning gets $1 million. Anybody who decides to leave in that time, their money is forfeit and redistributed to the other members who still do survive the house. But before anybody can decide, the building's elaborate security system is tripped, and these giant metal panels come down and seal the windows and doors shut. And that's pretty much the gist of it. From here, the party members all try to make an escape from the house, but people start seeing things and disappearing and being attacked. If this sounds like your generic summer horror haunted house movie plot, well, it is. The plot is nothing we haven't seen before, and it's not just because it's a remake. But there are elements to the movie that are still well worth watching, at least just for the fun aspect of it. Like I mentioned before, there's the whole asylum scene at the beginning, and later on there's a scene where a character goes into a machine that's supposed to be meant as a cure for an insanity, and they kind of just end up in this weird hallucination where they end up in the whole hospital and the staff is all disfigured and, like, I guess damned or something like that. It's super creepy and really well done. Especially just the transition from the real world to this hallucination dream thing. And yet it's so bizarre how this movie will have one scene like that that's very high quality production value and really creative. And it will have sets that are so heavily detailed and characters who are really done up and almost even given little backstories just by the visuals you see of them. And then in other scenes, it looks like it's straight out of Party City. And the same goes for the effects. Some of the effects have aged really well, or at least bypass the limitations of their time in creative ways. And then you have this shit. I think the inconsistency is the biggest issue with the film. Even with the themes, at some points it seems like it's actually meant to be very serious, and you're supposed to feel like these characters are really going through a tragedy. And then in other scenes, it just feels just plain silly. There are a lot of little details that are very interesting that I've never seen before. For example, how the ghosts in the movie walk. It's such a cool effect. And they didn't even need to do that. That's just a little detail they added, but it goes such a long way. And then in other parts of the movie, it just feels like filler with a music video out of nowhere. I feel like this film may have had production issues, and it really shows in the final product. From what I've read, there's a bunch of deleted scenes, and there's even a whole character who was removed from the movie at the last minute. Other reason for a troubling production could have been that this was a twin film, with the twin movie being The Haunting. So trying to keep up with its competition could have led to some poor production choices. But anyway, I think that this movie is still very entertaining, and there aren't that many modern haunted house movies anyway. It's a great one to add with your Halloween picks. It's not one I would really set aside time for, or play near the end of the month as a little, like, penultimate Halloween movie, but it's one that you can just throw into the mix if you're looking for something extra to fill in the time. Have you seen House on Haunted Hill? What did you think about it? Why don't you tell me about it in the comments? I'm always interested in the discussion about these movies. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching.